Meanwhile, the Greens have attempted to overshadow the final day of Labor's national conference by gathering outside to protest the government's housing policy. Our political reporter Olivia Casely was there and filed this report.
The Greens have brought their political fight on housing straight to the doorstep of Labor's national conference. They're accusing the government of selling out renters and home buyers. As we know, this stoush has been dragging on for some months now. The Greens have not been swayed by the government's approach, and they're not happy with the $3 billion Commonwealth carrot the government's offered to the states and territories at Wednesday's National Cabinet to boost housing supply, or the announcement that Labor's shared equity scheme, which allows low and middle income earners to buy a home with the government, that policy will start next year. Greens housing spokesman Max Chandler-Mather says the proposals are a quote-unquote sick joke.
I mean, let's be very clear. The Greens have bent over backwards to try and find a deal. We halved our initial offer of $5 billion to $2.5 billion a year. We reduced the amount of money we wanted on the table to freeze rent increases, and then we said at the very least we need to make unlimited rent increases illegal.
The Prime Minister says it's extraordinary the Greens are blocking his government's social and affordable housing policy, the Housing Australia Future Fund. The key sticking point for the Greens is there isn't enough support for renters. Anthony Albanese is moving with National Cabinet towards limiting rent increases.
What we need is for the Greens political party and the Coalition and One Nation, who make up the coalition sitting there in the Senate saying no to affordable housing and no to increased social housing, to support that legislation in the Senate.
Labor's signature housing policy, the $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, will be debated in the Senate again in October. If it fails to pass a second time, the Prime Minister will have a trigger to call an early election.